Noah,
What up?
our brownies can't have nice things.
We
Uh,
knew that.
we'll explain more on this edition of Around the Water Cooler. That's right. Noah, I'm so disappointed. It's like we go 1 week or maybe even 2 weeks, and it seems like positive Browns news. And then we see that the city keeps fighting about the stadium. We see that the Haslams, who, Jimmy Haslam said that, yeah, it was probably a mistake trading for Deshaun Watson, yet they're at his wedding. We see that it just the list goes on and on. We can't
Yep.
have nice things as Browns fans. I think we've come to realize that. But what I didn't think would happen is that our stud number 2 pick and stud Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins, I didn't expect him to be arrested for domestic assault in Florida. First of all, I never heard a whiff of this kid getting into trouble when he was at Ohio State. Granted, I think stuff gets covered up a little bit more in college. We don't need to get into that argument right now. And I'm not throwing shade. I genuinely have never heard of any issues with him. But as soon as he's in brown and orange, he's arrested for domestic assault. Noah, I want you to break it down for me and give me your opinion. But first of all, before you do, I just want to say it's time for camp. It's time to be a Brown player. Just stop going to fucking Florida, guys. Everything seems to happen in Florida. He's arrested in Florida. How many players are going to get arrested in Florida before you just like cut that state off? Noah, give me your take.
Yeah, you want my take, man? I'll tell you my take. I'll wrap it up like this.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
That's exactly how I feel to a T. I am so tired of dealing with the Cleveland Browns and dealing with this kind of stuff in the headlines. It makes it so hard to be like, yes, sir, I am a Browns diehard because I am. I bleed orange and brown. Now, Quinshon Judkins, we'll go there and then I'll get macro and talk a little bit about the Cleveland Browns and my frustration with them as an organization. Judkins, you're right, has had zero types of negativity in the press. There was some stuff that was floating around that maybe he had a bad attitude at Ole Miss, but we're talking about Ole Miss message boards, and we're really doing some Google sleuthing to try and figure out where the hell this went wrong with this kid, right?
Right.
Now, the report, not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of not so good sounding stuff in it. So if you want to go read it, please do. If you don't, please don't. It's horrible. I don't stand for any of that kind of stuff. And I hate that who's supposed to be the franchise running back, according to where we picked him and how they talk about him, is already in the media for bad press. Let's go macro. Andrew Berry, my friend. We're talking Deshaun Watson, Malik McDowell, Jameis Winston, Perrion Winfrey, Devin Bush, Mike Hall, another Ohio State second-round pick from last year, and now Quinshon Judkins. Not to mention you could technically throw Kareem Hunt in there because they brought him back. So technically Andrew Berry signed someone with some baggage there as well. We are talking about 7 players, though, if you take Kareem out of it, that have had questionable at best things pop up either before or during their tenure in orange and brown. What the hell is going on? I'm frustrated and I'm tired of it, Grandpa. What do you think, E?
I honestly don't have much more to add because I agree. Like, even if you look at the details of this case, there were those out there that said, really look closely at Deshaun Watson. These girls that are suing him also kept going back, et cetera, et cetera. Push that aside. And I'm not saying Deshaun Watson's a good guy, obviously, but push that aside. The details of this case are pretty damning. Whether or not, the girl did stay with him an extra couple days, et cetera, but she had visible markings on her. Like he assaulted her. And the fact that we're dealing with this again, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying that we're going to drop him or our second round pick is a complete bust. it's a tricky situation for the Browns. It shouldn't be. I mean, seeing that he physically assaulted a woman, should he not just be dropped from the team immediately? I know we hate it as sports fans, but like where's the line here? And once again, it's tarnishing the name Browns. The Browns are a joke organization. I love them. They're my Brownies, but they are a joke to the rest of the league, to the rest of the country. I wouldn't even be surprised the rest of the world. I thought about going over to the London game this year in October and talking to some of the fans over there that are from England and being like, hey, do you know of the Browns and what's your take? And I'd probably hear some damning things, river on fire, blah, blah, blah. Not that they can talk. I'm pretty sure their river has caught on fire as well. But my point is, I'm not wasting my money to fly to London to watch the Browns because I can watch them lose here. And it's just one more thing. Like, there's such an embarrassment, man. Such an embarrassment.
It's so embarrassing. Just it feels like we can't ever have nice things. I mean, you could even go with everything feels great. We love their draft. Shador gets pulled over. Who cares? It's not the biggest thing in the entire world.
Right.
Okay, but everybody's still looking good. At least it's only getting pulled over. Like Deshaun Watson was our quarterback at one point. So, I mean, he's still on the roster, but we don't need to get into that. And then this happens. And then you also got to think about there's the different players that have just come up. Devin Bush is still on the roster and has a problem with this going on. That was towards the end of last season, I believe. It's just it's so mind-boggling that this keeps happening to us. And I believe there was some fans that did some research, of course, to see how bad and how egregious it has been for the Browns compared to some of the other teams. They're top 5, but Minnesota has like almost double what we have still, which is absolutely insane to me. It is like, I just don't get it. And something I wanted to get your opinion on too is the fact that Judkins still hasn't signed his contract.
Right.
What do you think that is going to look like for him? Because they were trying to get a fully guaranteed contract, and now we're sitting here with this situation. It's Wednesday night at the time of recording. I mean, he's got to sign that thing tomorrow without having to hold out or get fined for not being at camp on Friday. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the first things that I said, you know, you, John, and I were at lunch together. I said this could really work out in favor of the Browns because if I'm Andrew Berry, whatever the negotiations were like before, you can damn well bet that you're not getting what we were talking about before. You're not getting fully guaranteed. You're not getting the money you want. Like, we might be saving some money here. Sit out all you want, but you know, you're clearly in the wrong. You're lucky that we're even going to take you. We'll see what happens there, but it could prove to be valuable to the Browns long term, assuming he's not going to jail or we don't have to just outright drop him at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in my heart of hearts, I feel like this is going to end up getting settled in some case because it always does when it comes to this kind of thing. And I'm not saying that to excuse the behavior or to dampen the blow or any of that. That's just how this typically goes down. I don't think he's going to see jail time. It's just
Probably
it's
not.
still
No.
so it's still so baffling to me. I that's the best way for me to put it is to just start shaking my head as soon as I think of a take to have because there's nothing else to be said. It's frustrating. I hope Dylan Sampson is a hell of a running back. He was at Tennessee. Those boys from Tennessee don't always translate to the league right away. So I don't
Or to
know. And
Columbus.
yeah, poor
I,
Columbus.
I will say one more thing, though, just based on Tim's comment. You know, he's like, isn't this the second Buckeye player second year in a row? The ironic thing here is that for years I've said, why don't we draft Ohio State players? We see Pittsburgh constantly draft Ohio State players. They perform so well, and we pass on them in the draft every single year. Well, 2 years in a row now, we draft an Ohio State player, and maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe if Quinshon, so is that systemic? That's the question, right? Is it systemic to our organization? If Quinshon was, just hear me out for a second. I had a trailing thought that I want to follow. If Judkins was drafted by Pittsburgh, does this happen? Is he even in Florida at the time of the incident, or is he a little more locked down by that organization?
I don't know, because him being in Florida with a girl that is his girlfriend, technically, from what the reports sounded like and everything, or at least an ex-girlfriend he was still close with. Athletes go and do things all the time. I don't know if that's a valid take, but I'm also with you in that process of, is it that systemic at this point where we're not locking down our players or not being stern enough about keeping our shit together? I don't know.
Something,
You know
yeah. I
what
mean,
else? I had another trailing thought real quick, not to dig the knife further into our hearts as Cleveland Browns fans, but letting Nick Chubb walk hurts a little bit extra with this news, in my opinion, because regardless of what happens with this, he's definitely not getting suspended. He's getting suspended, right? Of some sort, whether it be 5 games like Hall was last year, or 6 or more, depending on how much this case goes on and goes further. It just hurts a little bit more because we let one of the nicest guys, one of the most stand-up dudes that have ever worn orange and brown, walk. And we didn't think it at the time, but now we have a guy that has a lot of character concerns, to say the very least.
yeah, it's just one more thing, one more knock. I don't even know what to think at this point, honestly. I don't know. We're gonna still watch. We're gonna tune in, but it's just like, it gets to the point where, like, I don't know how you and I as Brown fans, all we've known is losing. And maybe it's the winning for the most part. Maybe it's the winning from the 80s that keeps people like my dad still invested. But I got to tell you, I just don't know how people that have done the misery for 50 years, 60 years, whatever. Like, could you imagine 40 years from now, still like the hapless Browns not winning? It's,
Yeah,
it's,
because
it's
I'm not.
exhausting.
It's so exhausting, but I'm not gonna go root for the Browns. Still, that's
Right.
the
You don't
catch
give up,
22
but
of this.
still, it's just,
Yeah,
it's tough.
it is indeed, my friend.